Hello friend, I want to tell you about the Peugeot 508 car. It is not as popular as the Insignia, Mondeo or Passat, but among the young generation of French mid-range cars it is one of the more interesting proposals. When compared to the strongest players in the segment, it turns out to be at the forefront in terms of reliability. Last year the model underwent a facelift and in our opinion it did it good, especially in terms of styling. It was equipped with a new multimedia system and several safety systems. The RXH version before the facelift was a station wagon with a hybrid drive, which powered the rear axle with an electric motor. After the facelift, the RXH version in Europe is only an off-road version with two-wheel drive, while in selected markets it remains a hybrid. The car, apart from the hybrid, was available only in a front-wheel drive version, with the engine placed transversely. The front suspension consists of McPherson struts, but the top GT version uses a suspension with a steering knuckle separated from the spring strut. Here we have two wishbones per wheel and this is a system from Peugeot 407. The rear axle of the 508 is always multi-link. The car is quite specifically tuned, because it is stiff, offers good quality of driving, but lacks the comfort typical of this segment and typical of the French. Engines. From the beginning, Peugeot installed petrol engines 1.6 VTI and 1.6 THP, as well as well-known diesels 1.6 HDI and 2.0 HDI. The VTI unit is a naturally aspirated engine with 120 hydrogen phosphide, an average fit for this model, constituting the basic version. The supercharged THP offers a solid 156 hydrogen phosphide, and after the facelift 165 HP. The 1.6 HDI diesel is a slightly better match for the Peugeot 508 than the naturally aspirated petrol. It reaches a modest 110 hydrogen phosphide, and after the facelift the power was increased to 115 HP. The 2-liter version is better with 140 and 163 HP before the facelift, and 150 and 180 HP after the facelift. The rare 2.2 HDI version with 204 horsepower is almost equivalent in performance to the hybrid version, in which the 2.0 HDI diesel with 163 horsepower is coupled to a 37 horsepower electric motor. It is worth adding here that the RHX version available as an estate has the battery placed under the boot floor. This has shrunk to 423 liters. Automatic gearboxes were offered in more powerful engine versions 1.6 THP and 2.0 HDI, as well as in the hybrid. Which engine to choose? Clearly 2.0 HDI diesel and no matter in which power version. This is the best engine in this model. Known, refined and very durable and valued for its reliability. There is no point in messing around with the FAP filter, because every 508 version has it. It is a durable and problem-free element, and only requires topping up with Eolys fluid. Of course, you can't complain about the 1.6 HDI engine, except that it doesn't provide good performance. Even the latest, 115 horsepower version needs about 12 seconds to accelerate to 100 kilometers per hour. However, in terms of operation, it is a very good engine, cheaper to repair than the 2.0 HDI. One note: lower fuel consumption can only be achieved during calm, economical driving. It is difficult to evaluate the 1.6 THP engine, which at the beginning of its history was hailed as the best engine in its class, only to be assessed by users as a faulty design after only a year. It was later improved, and such a modified version was received by the Peugeot 508. For now, these engines are not bad. There are no complaints about the timing chain braking or jumping, but it can still make noise because it stretches. If you drive less, then of course petrol will be a better choice than diesel. However, an alternative for short distances may be the smaller 1.6 diesel engine. We do not recommend the naturally aspirated petrol version. It offers nothing except a lower purchase price. It is not more economical than the 1.6 THP, and certainly not more dynamic. It does not even surpass the 1.6 HDI in terms of performance. However, it will be okay for the city and short distances. The same remarks regarding the timing chain apply to VTI units as to the THP. It is hard to recommend the hybrid version, which basically makes no sense. Harnessing a diesel engine to the hybrid drive is quite unfortunate, and the degree of design complexity is high. It must be admitted that the drive is not failure-prone, but it is hard to find specialist service, since it is common knowledge how this topic looks at ASO. What is worse, the hybrid offers neither an effective 4x4 drive nor a decent trunk. What's broken? Just like the hybrid drive, it is hard to recommend the automatic transmission before the facelift. Only the modified gearboxes after the facelift are characterized by the appropriate work culture. What about their failure rate? This is not known yet, but we advise you to approach it with caution. Peugeots are not very popular in our country, so repair may be a problem. There are also minor problems with knocking rear shock absorbers. What's worse, spare parts are not easily available outside of authorized service centers. There are also problems with the front wishbones of the GT version, which do not withstand long mileages. It is worth remembering to regularly check the wheel alignment, because incorrect suspension settings can cause accelerated tire wear. Minor electrical problems occasionally occur. They mainly concern equipment, reversing camera, audio system, multimedia set, central locking. An interesting problem with this model is water pouring into the boot of the sedan version after opening the flap. This is not a failure, but a design defect. Peugeot 508 is not much to criticize, but it can be appreciated for its refined design. Its biggest advantage is diesel engines and the rich equipment of many units. It must be remembered that the depreciation will be greater than in the case of the competing models mentioned in the introduction, so it is worth buying such a car for a longer period. We recommend this model in version 2.0 HDISW, preferably with a manual gearbox. Thank you for listening to me. Do not forget to subscribe to the channel and rate my video. If you know of any problems with this car that I did not mention, be sure to write about them in the comments.
I have good news for you. Now, if you are planning to buy a used car, or learn more about your car, you no longer need to search for the information you need on the internet. We have collected everything in one place for you, on the website carme.pro. Here you can find out everything about the car, what breaks and at what mileage, any problems with engines, chassis or gearboxes, which trim levels are better not to mess with, and how not to lose money buying a used car. You will learn all this on carme.pro.